Hello, good morning. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Asuri Balde. We are back again on another edition of QTV this morning. We are broadcasting from our studios in Kairaba Avenue. And it's Thursday, the last this morning for this week. And in the studios, I'm with Mr. Adidrame and Mr. Malika, our newspaper review guest. Mr. Ka, you are welcome on this program. Good morning.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to join with you and Ade on the platform.
Yes.
It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a while.
I don't. Have I seen you with a waistcoat before?
No, when I came from London, I
nice.
just got a couple of these.
Nice.
I thought, you know,
I used to love
show off a little
yes.
bit.
Oh, you got a couple of them. Okay, then when we are done, we can see. All right. So, Mr. Ade, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
I'm very well. Yeah,
yes, on the program, we'll be talking about the small ruminant scheme. I mean, as you know, there is a particular money put aside so that we can, you know, people can access this money, you know, to be able to buy small ruminants.
Really?
We all understand.
Can I access it?
Well, if you are a businessman, only if you are a businessman,
Okay.
because it is only for business purpose. I mean,
become a businessman.
Exactly. So it's an opportunity for Gambians to be involved, you know, in buying and selling of small ruminants. We all understand Tobaski sometimes becomes a very tense period when people want to get these things. So this is an opportunity for people to be involved.
So what is a small ruminant?
It's
they will reveal all when
they will
come.
reveal all when and how to tap into those funds as well. So we'll be having the team
So
here.
we assume it's going to be cheaper this year.
Exactly. So Modu Lamin Job will be here with Khadija Tunjai.
Okay.
They will take us through. Then we'll talk on African Liberation Day. It is a very important topic, and you know, most of the time we observe public holidays, you know, during this day, at least to, you know, show the significance of this day. So we'll be having Dr. Baba Silla and team. They will be here and we will be talking. We'll delve into it more. Now let's take a look at the code. It reads, where there are weapons, there will be war.
I honestly, I don't know where Balde gets these quotes from. Really.
Where there are weapons, there will be war.
It means you are armed and ready to fight. Otherwise, you don't need to have weapons. Because where there are weapons, there is possibility that you will use them. Because you have to show force, you have to show power in order to dominate. So to have that, you need weapons. So if you are a peaceful person, you will not be armed with violent weapons ready to fight. So that is why in those days, people grow their claws, so that when you're ready, they will scratch you. So those are weapons that you use. So in essence, it's just saying that, you know, where definitely there is no need to arm yourself when you are not going to fight or anybody. If you are a peaceful person, you go about your business in a peaceful way without, you know, being prepared. Because a thief have to go prepared with tools and weapons to break and enter. So where you are having those things ready, you are armed for action. I think that, for me, is the essence of it.
Interesting. Yes. I mean, I watched a photo essay yesterday called "The Death of the American Dream," and one of the things that they were going around saying, you know, this American dream has fallen apart. And one of the things the photographer did was he took a photograph of a family of 4. And he considers that this family has more weapons than any family of 4 in the U.S. They have over 100 assault rifles, and they displayed all of them, all over their patio, all over the you know, and even on the roof, because there was not enough space for all the weapons they had. A family of 4, over 100 guns. And they're saying that, in fact, there are more guns than people in America.
True.
And which is why they have a high death rate. So where there are weapons, there will be war. If you have a weapon, the temptation is that you might use it. And it's one of the reasons why, for many years, even when there were armed robberies in England, they resisted arming all the police. Even when policemen were killed in the line of duty, people said, oh, arm the police, arm the police. They said, no, look at America. If a policeman has a gun and he can stop you, rather than say stop, he will shoot. And so police kill a lot of people in America because they have guns.
You are tempted when once you are
it's your resort is that, you know, it's not even your last resort, it's your first resort.
Give you arrogance.
That, you know, because
Of-
the fact that you have this and somebody's coming to you, there was an incident recently when one man was coming towards 10 police officers. They didn't even try and restrain him, they just shot him. In America, you know, and that it turned out he's actually a military guy, a black guy who was in the military. So yes, where there are weapons, there will be war. And we've seen it in countries that have weapons. They've attacked countries that have fewer weapons than they do. As you said, there's a kind of arrogance that comes with being armed or over-armed. There are countries that have never been to war, but you know, nonetheless, they arm themselves. Just this morning, Myanmar, I was listening on the radio coming in. The military, they've had several military coups since the 1960s. When the military recently, or you know, 4 years ago, deposed elected government, when they heard that the government was going to bring in a law to remove the fact that 25% of parliamentary seats have to be allocated to the army, they staged another coup d'etat. And now Myanmar is in a civil war. Out of 330 towns, the military have lost 230. You know, and you know, in fact, it's against the law to criticize the military in Myanmar.
The resistance have formed a coalition.
Now they formed a coalition
because
again because they have arms, because they have weapons. There is a war.
There are more.
So if you take it in the literal sense, that is what we're seeing. Yes.
Well, I mean, it goes beyond. I mean, we are getting weapons and you know, maybe starting a war, but it's telling you you can go deep and find what the problem is and solve the problem. You know, there are solutions that you can you know, carry out without war.
Without resorting to war.
Exactly.
You're right.
It's telling you the proverb goes beyond only weapons and war, but we can filter it down to our society. You know, we can be very peaceful. We can you know, preach peace. We can exercise I mean, certain things that will maintain peace, you know, among us as people. So it's more to this proverb. You know, the proverb sometimes direct you to certain
It's
things.
deep. I 100% agree with you, is that rather than resorting to dialogue, you resort to fighting. So it doesn't necessarily mean weapons in the case of guns that we're discussing, but it means that if you are not kind of resigned to say, okay, let's talk this over, let's, you know, you resort to fighting. Whilst, you know, dialogue might be the same thing. And of course, we all know that they don't care which war you name it. At the end of the day, what happens? They make peace. Hundreds, millions have died, and the people who sent them to war, they're still alive. They sit down at a table and they make peace. So, you know, dialogue is always the best solution.
Absolutely, absolutely.
To everything.
Yeah, so viewers, you're watching QTV this morning. The program is sponsored by Lido Coffee, Olinda Tea, and Cow Milk. Well, if you are looking for something to make you active throughout the day, Lido Coffee is here for you. And for tea lovers too, I mean, the Olinda Tea, it's the best tea. You can find it in the almost all the supermarkets, mini markets, and corner shops throughout the country. And this point, we'll take a short break. After the break, then we will look at some of the stories making headlines. We'll be right back.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
You're watching QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Osoribalde. This is QTV This Morning. Now, let's take a look at some of the stories on the Point newspaper. The main headline of the Point newspaper reads, "Price of cement goes up again." Cement is something that goes up and down time to time, and at some point, many people complained about it. But when you look at the structure of the market, sometimes these prices are not controlled, within. The control mechanism sometimes is from where they produce these cements. It goes up again, and it's on the paper headline.
Well, you say it goes up and down, but just quickly before Mr. Carr comes in, I've been here 5 years. I've never seen a headline in the Gambia saying cement price goes down.
Goes down.
So I'm not sure about goes up and
when
down.
it goes
just
down,
seems to go up and up.
It's
not a headline.
When they reduce the price,
it's not a headline.
We don't hear about it.
Quite,
but once it's up, it's skyrocketing. People talk about it.
Mr. Carr.
Is that not in fact the nature
prices
of man?
can be dictated by a number of factors. One is the exchange rate of the dollar, because when they go to buy cement, whether it's powdered cement to come and repackage, they have to purchase it in the dollar. And if the dollar is down against the dollar, it means you have to add that cost into it. So that is one aspect. The other aspect may be where there exists a cartel kind of, where you have that kind of monopoly and then you structure the price amongst yourself. That's another thing that also can influence prices, and that is why you have the competition commission in those instances where they can intervene to regulate the market in that aspect in order to allow the free market, which operates in the Gambia, to operate. But there has been challenges in that area, as we know. The small importers are complaining that they are being notched out of the market because the increases are there. I think they are working to resolve those things with the small importers also and the main ones here. So I don't know what is the main factor that has influenced the increment that is being highlighted in the newspapers. But generally, those are the issues that may affect fluctuation of prices, and that applies to any commodity for that matter.
Exactly.
Because most of the things that we use are imported. They are not homegrown. Things that are homegrown, maybe you can dictate and design prices, but with that, where you depend on the dollar, and the dollar will determine.
Well, homegrown products can also, be expensive at some point. We've seen the president on his tour. He visited the onion farm and the Irish potato farm. They said what they spend on production, it's very expensive. So you can see electricity, water, at the end of time, manpower, if at all that product lands in the market, definitely I don't think they will sell at a loss.
Yeah, as one chap we heard in the report that you mentioned, the onion farm, he said that because we're having to use generators, it makes our product more expensive than the imported one, which is remarkable situation, really. And of course, if you go to the market, you don't care that, oh, this was grown in the Gambia, so out of patriotism, I'm going to buy it. You want the cheapest product because that will, impact your pocket. And so that is something that needs to be resolved.
Well, that is a policy thing that government deliberately have to look at how they can assist in terms of the unit cost of electricity.
And that's what the guy was appealing for.
They should really work, because with a unit cost of electricity, it encourages, industries, the performance, and also it creates that conducive environment where investors can come and then rewards, because investors look for profit. That's what they do.
Exactly.
So if they go into a market where, or another thing that could happen is homegrown is protected. But when it's protected, it also have to be able to match, because price is important to the layperson. The important thing is where the product is coming from. That's insignificant, but the price, affordability. So if they're going to protect the local market, they must make sure that it is available in abundance, there is no scarcity, and also it is affordable. So these are two things, and that exists within the framework structured by the government in terms of policies, incentives, and those aspects. Those are the things that government looked into in terms of economic policies to accommodate business.
Yes. On the same vein, the president, we've also seen him on his nationwide tour. He inaugurated a lot of hospitals, especially the hospital at the Kiang end. I think that's a very good move. For a very long time, the people of Kiang have been left you know, like that for a very long time. They've not been enjoying certain things. Electricity, we've seen now, you know, since the coming of the Barrow's government, we've seen electricity. I mean, now Kiang is connected. Kiang is bright. Now we've seen the first hospital in that region as well. So I think it's a good move. We are improving gradually when it comes to some of the developments. One of my friends said to me the other day, now Gambia, I can see infrastructure, you know, it's really improving.
Yeah, I mean, our colleague Choi is with the president's tour, and when they went to Salikeni, he was very impressed with the hospital. I mean, we spoke on the phone, and he was saying, wow. He said, in fact, it's got more modern equipment than some of the...
Considering where Salikenya is,
yes,
it's very far.
You know,
it's a remote village.
Yes, it's like, you know...
It's off-road. I mean, I went to Salikenya on several occasions, Mr. Ka.
I've been there as well.
Yeah, quite.
So it might be not be far for you, but for me, it's off-road. I mean,
in fact, a lot of people kept referring to it as a very remote place.
It's a remote place.
and Choi was impressed with the equipment in the hospital and just the whole layout. And, you know, his prayer was that, please, let's keep it like this. You know, let it not fall into kind of, you know, sort of disrepair a year or two from now. And I think that is a challenge for everybody. And in fact, some of the people who spoke, that was what they said. They said, we've been given this, let us cherish it for what it is, and let's keep it to this same sort of excellent standard.
I think that's commendable. Like what you underlined, it is quite important. That is maintenance, and that is one thing we do not normally factor in the things, whether it's roads or any other thing. And maintenance is a budget of its own, because in order to ensure that, you know, those projects are maintained properly, it has to be maintained with a budget. So they must be catered for, the equipment have to be taken care of, and also people being responsible as well. When you are given an assignment, responsibility or duties to oversee certain equipment which are very expensive and highly technical, you should be able to take care of them, you know, and well-trained also. They have to be well-trained to be able to use them.
Crucial point. That's a crucial point.
With those aspects, I think one can only appreciate primary health care is very important, where it reaches out, decentralized to the rural communities, because they are part of the Gambia. They pay taxes, so they are entitled to these services. So it's commendable. The government is doing the right thing. So also the people also have to take their responsibility.
Well, it's just like on Monday we invited the Aliou Saja Foundation. They were here.
Yes.
When they built the hospital, the first hospital in Kirmama village. I mean, and
famous,
you know,
Kirmama village.
Famous Kirmama village. I mean, and it's welcomed by the inhabitants of that area. I mean, and they are ready to put very good equipment to help the people of that area. I think it's good. Healthcare, we are moving gradually.
I wanted to pick up on a point that Malik just made. It's a crucial point, honestly. And, you know, it's all well and good having all these hospitals with shiny new equipment. But if you go to any hospital in England or America and so on, in the hospital, there are technicians whose job it is to fix and maintain equipment on a regular basis. Unless we have that at all these places that we're opening, we go there 6 months or a year's time, you'll find equipment packed in a corner, gathering dust, and nobody's using it because there isn't a technician whose job it is to maintain and make sure that it is you know, properly maintained. And that is a very important part. So yes, it's nice, we're welcoming all these things, but that's another component. As you said, it's a budget item on itself, maintenance. And in Africa, sad to say, not just in the Gambia, in many African countries, the maintenance culture is non-existent.
Well, it's good you mentioned someone to maintenance these things. I mean, you know, most of these hospitals, like you mentioned, they will get a person to maintenance these equipments. I mean, I think the little mistake that we are making is on that side. You understand? Some of these equipments are very expensive
and highly technical.
Yeah, so we cannot just afford to.
You know, at the then RVT, Royal Victoria, they had a specialized engineering department. I know Idi Job is among the first Gambians to have been the engineer at the hospital, I remember. After Dr. Tolman, I don't know, one white guy, then he was the first Gambian. He was sent purposely for that. And he became the... So engineering is part of it. Hospital is an ecosystem. It's not just the doctors. The doctors have to have the equipment and they don't know it. They just use it. So those that maintain the equipment are part of the ecosystem. people may not see them. So therefore, what you said, Ade, is important, that in every area, let them strengthen the engineering aspect of the hospital as well, to keep and maintain this equipment. It helps for the continuity of the provision of services. And
I mean, they should also look at some of the things that most people will be needing. Maybe scanners. Those are small. Those are few things that people need. You don't need to travel from the village to come to Banjul just to scan. So those are things that, you know, people might need at that end.
And I don't know whether once upon a time in the Gambia you had PWD, Public Works Department.
Yes.
We used to have them in Sierra Leone, and they had people who specialized in some of things. You phone from a hospital saying this equipment is faulty, can you send somebody? They would send somebody because they had sent people who had been trained to actually, so they weren't necessarily based in the hospitals or in any of the government departments, but you know, you would call PWD and they would send somebody.
Sort of a call center.
And yes, and we need to revive that if it's not there anymore, because as I said, this very nice expensive equipment that we're being given, we have to maintain.
You use it for 1 week and it's broken, it's left there unattended, then it's a waste. And the doctors will not be able to perform their jobs if the equipment are not functional. They have to be working. And the engineering department is important in the ecosystem of the hospital. It ought to be strengthened, capacitized, so that they can be able to also work in tandem.
Well, let's move to another story. Recently, we've seen a lot of accidents again, Mr. Carr. Even yesterday, I watched on, I was going through a report of a very serious accident again on the Sukuta-Jabang highway. You know, and I did not see the victim, but I mean, it's a really serious one. You can see how dangerous it looks. We've also seen the presidential,
the advanced party.
Exactly. We've seen that fatal accident happen, and a policeman lost his life.
Indeed.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but most people were talking about a 2-lane drive on that road. You know, that's the Trans-Gambia Highway. I mean,
for me, you know, as a non-Gambian, you know, this is one of the things I criticize most about the Gambia. There are a lot of reckless drivers, and a lot of reasons we have a lot of reckless drivers. They're not properly trained. Even when we had the Bertil Harding Highway, you and I know on a daily basis we would see cars that had smashed into the roundabouts.
True.
All the length from Sting Corner all the way down to Airport Junction. At almost every one of those roundabouts, a car had crashed into them. Just pure recklessness.
Well,
and even this morning at the Sukuta traffic lights, there'd been a collision because two guys did not want to give way to each other, and they just smashed into each other. And I don't know what this attitude is. That seems, you know, we've talked about this time and time again. I saw the president appealing for people to be careful and so on. We really need to take this as a kind of national emergency and get serious about it.
I think the things that ought to be addressed first, they need to revisit the road traffic laws. I think they are archaic, they are outdated. They ought to really revise them and then make sure that strict penalties are imposed with certain attitude. Attitude is the primary thing here. Before you come to the roadworthiness of vehicles. That also is another aspect. First, people have the wrong, you know, when you go to schools in the UK or Europe, I assume all over, they test you, and they test you in attitude, they test you in a number of areas. Here, it's just the mechanical aspect, how to move the car A to B. And there are lots of deficiencies in terms of, you know, being a good driver. What people define to be a good driver is speeding, and that is what they compete in. And they don't have the patience to accommodate other people because they don't have consideration for nothing. You will see drivers come and stop at junctions that are very crucial, and you have to maneuver. They should not be there, even on the new highway, and I see that. I'm frustrated all the time. And I don't know why the police are allowing those. They should not be stopping at nowhere in those points to be picking or dropping. They should have demarcated areas where you can pick passengers, not on those highways. And now I have seen the police have been given motorbikes. They should be more active on that highway. You should have at least 6 or 7 of them, you know, traversing that route, checking people And also speed limits. I know the road is not finished yet, especially the Battle Harding, but I expect they will put speed limits like maybe 60 kilometers per hour minimum or maximum.
Or they'll put speed bumps.
Sorry, not on that high road.
Well,
should
they've put one near...
You know, speed bumps will
where is it?
defeat
Near
that.
Paradise.
Yeah.
They've put one huge speed bump already.
In fact, I was the other day I was on that road and I didn't realize there was a speed bump.
Because if you
That's
don't
the
know,
Mariam
I'm
Okunda
not in
Junction.
for that on the Battle Hiding
honestly,
way. I don't think
because a lot of cars are coming at quite a high
No, but
speed,
the reason
and
why-
there's no indication.
Yeah,
that
and
it's
the
there.
reason why they put that speed bump area, it's a main junction.
It's a junction. Oh, I know.
It leads to Mariam
Yeah,
Okunda,
of
so
course.
you need that there.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah, but they should do that, and also the congest certain aspects. Like I have seen that the new roundabouts that are created did help, because the congestion also will ease meeting at the same time on the road and then forcing and rushing. So these aspects, but it's attitudinal. Number one. Number two, roadworthiness of the vehicles. They ought to be looked at and checked, especially tires and brakes, especially during the rainy seasons. These are very important. Tires and brakes, which we don't look into, you know, and also wipers during rainy season. So some of these basic things, and lights.
And some of these things, if you can't force people to change their attitudes, if you can't get people to change their attitudes, you force them to do it. How do you do it? You have things that slow down the traffic. You have traffic lights that work, rather than even the place called traffic light. The traffic light never worked. You know, so you have traffic lights, and people have to observe it. They are forced to stop. And you have cameras. If you don't stop and the penalties are heavy, trust me, when you've paid $10,000 because you jumped a red traffic light, you will never do it again.
you will never do it.
You know?
Well, I mean, it all filtered down to attitude, Mr. Carr. I think we need to change our...
And the laws
even
and
if at all,
enforcement.
even if we have 10-lane road,
Once
you know, if the
attitude is not
attitudes are
changed.
not changed,
Yeah,
it's
and
going
that
to be the same
applies
thing.
to Senegal as well. You know, it's us and our
Yeah,
neighbors.
yeah, go on.
Their rate of accidents also is very high.
Terrible.
Despite the fact that they have some new roads and all that. But it's the roadworthiness of some of these vehicles, number one. Number two, also the attitude.
I would
of
put
people.
attitude, bad attitude, I would put at number one.
Yeah, attitude.
Honestly,
Definitely. You know, I agree entirely.
Exactly. So, Mr. Carr, thank you very much for, staying with us throughout the newspaper review. And I believe we will do this maybe next week again.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
And not only that, Mr. Carr and I are very passionate about this kind of traffic business. It's an obsession of ours.
Absolutely.
Because we should not be in the position where Gambia's name even comes in the top 100, never mind in the top 10 worldwide, and yet we're there.
Well,
Scandal.
it's
It's a
unfortunate.
scandal.
I mean, but we will not relent. We'll keep talking about it. We'll keep using our medium to talk about it, to sensitize the people. You know, hopefully things will change, very soon. Yeah, so viewers, we'll take a short break. After the break, the program continues. We'll be right back.
Now, with QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future, tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell mooy suñu boss. QCell mooy suñu boss. QCell mooy suñu boss. Go, ebe dawa full network suda tili QCell. Ni lafta diamla wati jamala mune diata QCell. Most reliable network dumala keta wati QCell. Wo quality man nyon soda jam pona manke QCell. Hani be wulo ni farole kono walante be bako na jala fayola network ko se taria QCell suñu boss. Ño fi njeka indi 3G ñu delu taxi 4G plus and now we bring you 5G. 5G. First and only 5G provider. Itella follow adi doron nesa keno. Gambia bela nyon tawo fele QCell. Ko fasun tawo buka busi QCell. Itella molti milka kukutol nati Gambia. QCell meta lori la kilianol yele imanyina amanda wala itella ka quality dila dadi ma itelle silo wala wodol mume be keno ma. QCell sunibus. QCell, Sunny Bus, QCell, Sunny Bus, QCell, Sunny Bus. One extra be bambandi QCell, Sunny Bus, QCell most innovative QCell, Sunny Bus.
You asked for it, and QCell is giving it to you with our new and improved Sunyu Bundle Mega Promo. Now you can get more data at cheaper prices. Buy any of our bundle packages and enjoy massive discounts. Dial *303# and enjoy browsing on the network with the biggest coverage. Buy a 20 megabytes data bundle for as low as $7 and 50 bottles today, or purchase bigger bundles up to 20 gigabytes. Yes, that's right, 20 gigabytes of data at your fingertips. With our mega promo bundles, you can browse more, chat longer, and stay connected on the go, anytime, anywhere. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, orders follow. Terms and conditions apply.
You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Masuri Balde. Now let's head to the second segment of this program. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV this morning, and the program is sponsored by Lido Olinda Cow Milk. And of course, if you want to conquer your day, watching this morning and taking your Lido coffee, we really do. Now let's move to the small ruminant project scheme. I mean, it's important for us to talk about it. As we know, the Tubaski is fast approaching, and it's significant for us to, talk about things that surrounds Tubaski and the rearing of small ruminants and how to access certain things to be able to, get an access. We have Modu Lamin Job with us in the studio and Khadija Tunjai. Gentlemen and lady, welcome to QTV this morning.
Thank you.
Mr. Job, this is not your first time. In fact, this is your home. So I am not sure of Khadija Tunjai. Khadija, is this your first time?
Yeah.
All right. Please, can you take us through, Mr. Njai, what the small ruminant project scheme is?
Mr. Job.
Mr. Job, rather.
Sorry to say, Mr. Njai. I was astaghfirullah.
Yes,
as a good start.
I know. All right.
Alhamdulillah, the small ruminant enhancement production is a project under the Ministry of Agriculture, spearheaded by the government of the Gambia. It's in different components. The component that we found ourselves as a financial institution is how to support farmers to access finances. We are $3 million has been shared between Gambia Teachers Credit Union and Supersonic, the microfinance, to ease access to finance by farmers, ranging from breeders, fatteners, dealers, butchers, and any other value chain within the and the project had been started about almost 3 years. For the past 2 years, alhamdulillah, we have done good. Last Tobaski alone, the support we gave farmers to access to finance amounted to almost about $18.8 million that we extend support to farmers, Supersonic as a microfinance institution. And out of that, about 84 personnel or institutions or companies benefited.
Okay.
And we've not, out of that, 78 male, unfortunately, and about 6 female throughout the Gambia. And the urban Gambia, Banyu to Brikama, almost about 53 out of that list, totaling to about 13 million. The rest went to Farefenye, to Bara, and Soma to Basse. Then you can see that we've given opportunity to farmers to ease for them to ensure that they can access this at a very minimal profit rate, where they can go and buy either within the Gambia, some would go outside the Gambia and come and sell at a much more affordable price to Gambian people.
Thank you. Khadijatu.
Interesting. So I'll like Khadijatu to do that in the local language. And Khadijatu, can we do Wolof?
Not very strong.
Which
not very
which one
strong.
are you strongest with?
Maybe Fula.
Like, yes.
All right, let's do Fula.
Fula then.
Yes, Khadijatu bismillah ma. Fala no hala nai. Ko honto iuda ha pari kadi yewtana en seda darnde mum e odo project.
Okay, thank you for having me. On jarama miɗo salmina kala ndaro o programme miɗo salmina sumorna minan project o the project coordinator o Mr. Ndiaye kam e team mum o Mr. Nderikor and Touri and the others. Ɗon so yewti kada miɗo salmina boss am the CEO of Gambia Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, Mr. Kujabi, and his deputy, Mr. Sala. Then ɗon so yewti mi salmina immediate boss am Mr. Sawane, under the Islamic Cooperative Credit Union itself.
Okay.
Yeah, o project o fuɗɗima gilo 2021. Ko Gambia government waɗi mbo fund with a support or a loan from the Islamic Development Bank. So minen ko min microfinance institutions, then min ƴettano pour min waɗa dispose haalisu to farmers. So ɗo ni joni miɗen e 5th disbursement o min mbaɗi on 4 dispose. In total we have disposed $84,186,000. This sum up to the $1,500,000 that we receive from the Sumo Rominant entirely. And kadi min mbaɗi revolve. So the process of fof yehi ari o fuɗɗorta ko to the grassroots level, because kamen andi yeyoɓe baali e newoɓe baali e bey en e ko ñamete ko gooƴe en ripas en. So sohluɗo wadde benefit fof ka yahat to Department of Livestock ɓe jonnuma form or the Gambia Livestock Marketing Agency. Then sa ƴetti form o a waɗan mo fill, then kamɓe ɓe waɗa mo certified, ɓe waɗa mo stamp. Then ruttoɗa back to the alkalo or the safe itself. O si woni business o ɗi waɗa register, hay sa yiɗi a yahani to alkalo to sa walla to safe to. Then a wawi wadde visit Supersonic or the Gambia Teachers Cooperative Credit Union. Ɗo welaɗa hen fof ko ɗon yarata. But the beauty thing o project ko Gambians o reko arani. Then sa yettima Gambia Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, the Islamic section ɗo minen miɗen jogui form bo min gokkatama. So on form noon bo lamdi guarantorship. So on guarantor ko kulle ɗiɗi woni e guarantor he. Ida siɗa jogui kayti galle mbo anduɗa mbo e strategic location, siko kombo ɗo siko Farafeñe en ni wayino won tan ta si woni a yoɓani ñamane nde on galle a waɗɗinimo e marché he o yawat jarde pour min kepta haalis amen o. Ɗum si woni heɓaki hen a wawi darde liggotoɗo, siko private siko public. So on komin lamdire ko pay slip mum o, then o waɗa sign on form amen, o winda letter. Then min ƴeftira ɗon noon min mbaɗa vet application o. Si on tigi waɗi qualify rek min noddanma. Te ɗon kala si yewti minen pour wona min access miɗen jogui branches across the country gila Katong ha Koyna Kanifing woni main office amen o. So from ɗo ha Basse kala ɗo yaɗa he premises seɗa wawi wadde submit application o, then min keɓat application o back, then min mbatma call min mbima a waɗi lokki joni ko ɗum woni procédure o.
Joni si tawi jommum nuldi application makko ko balɗe jelo ƴettata fi wawno wonde process o hen ɗo?
Balɗe dal sa wi balɗe ɗum sattat par ce que ɗi waɗi depend ndako an a waɗi meet requirement o, because committee o pour o waɗa sit that can be any day any time. Min waɗa sit over applications. Kono si woni application o hunde wotere ɗi manki toon ɗum waɗa delay application o torop sa. So ɗum taki miɗo ñaago musidɓe ɓe fof kala addo application yo wonta a timmini ɗe kuule fof dora wadde submit application ɗon a yiyata ɗum sattirta noon fof. Yeah.
Jarama. So, Mr.
Yes. Yes. Now, we've heard about how people can benefit from this. What is the long-term strategy? Is this, because people complain all the time that, oh, these ruminants are expensive. We're talking about Tobaski and so on. Is it to get to a stage where we import less and less? We're talking about almost everything we import, including small ruminants. And is that the longer-term strategy, that we get to a stage where the home-produced variety is such that we import less and less? Is that, Mr. Job?
Yes, as I said, the project is a big project. That's spearheaded by the project team led by Mr. Njai, Mahmoud Njai. The component that we operate is access to finance. But there are other areas that the project is supporting farmers, livestock farmers, to ensure that over a period of time, we are reasonably good enough when it's Tobaski. We are not in panic to go out and bring, and prices are reasonably down so that every family household can afford. The component we operate is because it has been a challenge for farmers to breed, because access to finance.
Yes.
Now, knowing how the country operates, there shouldn't be any free money. That being the case, a support mechanism is given to farmers to access the cash at a very minimal profit rate, where they can breed, where we're supporting people to breed on a longer term. We are also supporting on a medium term for them to fatten, whereby if you are 3-4 months before Tobaski, you can be given a facility, you buy, you try to support, you try to grow that part. And why the microfinance came into being is to ensure that even if the project phases out, the farmers are already in relationship with those institutions. There will be continuity. Because often at times projects will come, once the projects are gone, those activities stopped. Now that is one of the biggest issues that the government of the Gambia saw, and they brought in the microfinances to build a profile with them, with the farmers, so that even if the project stops, the continuation will be there to continue to support and give them access to finance.
Wonderful. Now, when you started your initial one, you mentioned breeders, fatteners, dealers, butchers. I was intrigued. What sort of access to finance do butchers get as part of this scheme, particularly butchers?
Yes, butchers, because they will go and buy and slaughter and sell. They can only multiply if they because sometimes when you have cash, you can negotiate a better price. But if you want to go to the darar to tell them, give me, let me go, then they will charge you higher. They will give them access to finance for on a very short term, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, where they will come with a very small minimal rate of profit. They will get the cash, go and buy, butcher and sell. Then when they start banking, then we build history with them. Then there will be no challenge for them for them not to negotiate price.
Thank you.
True. We have few minutes to go. Ko hoddum heɓuɗa ko haalna wano himɓe men ɓe annduɗa ko ɓen woni jogiiɓe ɗi dammi ha pari no wadde business on te hiɓe foti taweede e oɗo lunmo jonnirton.
Ok, komi wiyata jama on tun kala mo windano walla windunoɗo application muɗum on ɗi waɗi tied up yoɓe aru par ce que tabaski on yonti te miɗen tamani ɓe toon 20 million fi tabaski on ren min jonna ɓe pour wawen heɓude enof baali ka marché ɗo ta ɗi waɗi reasonable kadi.
Jarama, Mr. You finally, what do you have to say before we say?
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. We encourage all Gambians. One of their crying had been access to finance. Access to finance opportunity is given to supersonic the microfinance and Gambia Teachers Credit Union. We encourage all to come for them to access some of these facilities so that we can better prices and we can give access to every Gambian household to be able to access the RAMs. And on behalf of the CEO and the Board of Directors, we thank the project and the government of the Gambia for trusting us and give us this opportunity. Then, and QTV, we hope the next day when you come, the prices of rams will be far cheaper than how it is this year.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you very much for coming on the program.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, so we'll be taking a short break. After the break, then we'll move to the third segment of this program. We'll be right back.
Q Money is back again with an offer of a lifetime. You can now buy Sunyu Bundle data packages directly from your Q Money wallet for half the price. Get all Sunyu Bundle packages from 20 megabytes to 20 gigabytes and enjoy the biggest internet data discount in the market. Just dial *323# now, choose option 4 and start buying your favorite Sunyu Bundle package half the price only with Q Money. Pay less and stay connected with the most reliable internet service in the Gambia. For more information, call 133 Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Never before in the Gambia, QCell is giving you an unbeatable offer. Activate our 5G network on your 5G enabled phone and enjoy free internet for 7 days. Yes, you heard that right. Activate QCell's 5G on your phone and experience what true 5G internet feels like. Get your QCell SIM cards activated today at the following care centers: Banjul, Senegambia, Brikama, Bulsobi Turntable, Bakau Airport, and Kairaba Avenue headquarters. Rush now and be part of the future with QCell's 5G. Free internet for 7 days only with QCell. For more information, call QCell Customer Care on 111. QCell Sunubus. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply. Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Welcome back from that break after talking to the team from the Small Ruminant Project Loan Scheme. And now let's move to the third segment of the program. Let's talk about Africa Liberation Day. Africa Liberation Day, formerly African Freedom Day and African Liberation Day, is the annual commemoration of the foundation of the Organization of African Unity on the 25th May 1963. Okay, it is celebrated in various countries on the African continent as well as around the world. The organization was replaced by the African Union on the 9th July 2002, but the holiday continues to be celebrated on the 25th May.
Including here in the Gambia.
Yes. So, I mean, to help us, you know, delve into this more, we have Baba Silla and Mr. Abdullah Sen in the studios. Gentlemen, welcome to QTV this morning.
Thank you.
Yes, it's good to have you here. Yes. You know, and I will be talking about a lot on this program today. But let's start with the African Liberation Day. Let's start with Dr. Baba Silla. I call him Doctor again. Mr. Baba Silla, you're welcome, sir.
Okay, thank you. The Africa Liberation Day, really, as always, it is difficult to find isolated events in a history. They often have forward and backward linkages. And with the African liberation, it's difficult to find where to start because Africans have undergone slavery, colonization, and neo-colonization. But the African Liberation Day itself, let me start from there, emerged out of this conference in Manchester, held by famous Africanist scholars and individuals from the world over. W.E.B. Du Bois, Henry Sylvester Williams, Awolowo, Ibrahim Agaba Jahumpa, Amy Ashford Garvey, Ras McConnell, and the list goes on. Now, they got together at Charlton Town Hall in Manchester in 1945 and stood shoulder to shoulder and said it was time that Africa and Africans stand up against the exploitation and the oppression that is taking place, that had taken place since time. And they made their announcements and did not mince their words. What they wanted to do is they wanted to see an Africa without trammels, without shackles, an Africa that was free to make its own choices, an Africa that would develop its own industries, an Africa that can be part of the community of nations in this world. Now, after those pronunciations, a few things came out of that. Soon afterwards, in 1957, the first African country was freed from colonialism, and that is Ghana. But preceding that, there was a very important event, and that was the World War, the Second World War, that took place, where the Africans were taken and dragooned and taken to the Burma to fight a war that never belonged to them, a war that had nothing to do with them. Then most of them, a lot of them died. The figures they have kept, I've looked at the figures, but there's a mismatch about those that went and those that came back. Okay, but that aside, before they left, they were promised, they went with promissory notes that said, you are going to fight this war. We are all the same, whether you come from Scotland or whether you come from the Hebrides, whether you come from Africa, we are all one British family. So when they left, they came back, and when they came back, it was obvious, especially in the Gambia, where the soldiers spent about 2 days outstream because there was absolutely no preparation for them.
Yes, correct.
The story repeats itself all over. In Ghana, this was why the war veterans came out, and that was the beginning of the struggle for independence.
Thank you. And just, I think it's worth saying, they said we were all one British family. I think it's worth noting that the French also, those who belonged to the French colonies, were also dragooned into that war, as we know, as they had done into the First World War. But Professor Sen, we've talked about the context, and we've given the context very, very well by Mr. Babasila. We're talking about 2024. How are we commemorating this in the Gambia, and what can people look forward to?
Well, one of the things that we would like to do is appear on TV programs such as yours, and really raise awareness about the event, this very special day, that in previous times it was Yahya Jammeh that basically hijacked.
I think he claimed it was his birthday.
His birthday. So we wanna recover and restore this very important day in its right place. There are events going on we had plans to have a big lecture, talk about the significance of the day, but because of venue problems, we couldn't really do that. But our aim at the Nyangsani Institute is to raise awareness about this event, as well as the vexing challenges that we Africans and Gambians as a people face. That this is not unique to Gambia. I mean, it's a universal phenomenon.
Sure.
Questions of racism, underdevelopment, neocolonialism, events or issues that permeate the entire continent and diaspora.
Yeah. And you know, we talk about liberation.
Yes.
Here in the Gambia, we've had the vexed question of, do we celebrate Independence Day or Republic Day?
Yes.
Because before we became a republic, if a case went to the highest court in the land, it could still go to Privy Council in London for a final judgment.
Yes.
We have the former French colonies still using the CFA, which is very much linked to France and controlled by France.
Yes.
So, you know, how free are we? So, yes, there was colonialism, neocolonialism, but still not loosened the shackles. So we're still fighting the battle.
We're still,
yes.
I mean, the freedom and independence are relative terms.
Yeah, go ahead.
And certainly one can compare and possibly contrast the colonial period and the current period that we live in. I mean, I think there are more freedoms. For those of us who are older, that lived during the colonial period in the 60s.
And I don't know if our people in the control room, we have a film which the African Union did to commemorate this day, and they can run it whilst we're speaking. So, you know, in the background, just people can see some of the figures that we're speaking about.
Absolutely.
You know,
I think, I mean, we'll take it as an insight or something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at that, and we'll be back.
Okay.
Fo junkun na ko wala bada soldar ko ndato bang say batu cuma lebe jamma fangola menka tubabu karango kendeke
ni junkun fagala
So we are back, and that's
we've seen a very short
clip. In fact, I
clip
even want to, see the whole thing.
Before he departed, that's exactly what Mr. Carr said. He said he's really looking forward to it. So tell us about the letter, please.
But, okay, we're still in the same context.
Yes.
Africa liberation and the war years. Now, that's a typical example. That young woman lived in Sandikunda. Her husband-to-be, called Junkung, was also taken to fight this war in Burma.
Conscripted.
Actually, he was coerced.
Right.
Yes, because some of them, they would organize several bars, and when the men come out, they would be picked up and taken forcibly.
Yes.
Okay, now, and sometimes the colonial governor managed to white-mail all the chiefs and said, we are in this together. So I want you to bring me 35 men from your district by tomorrow. Of course, when the word comes, and the man comes with soldiers, that's very intimidating. So then the chiefs yielded to these demands. So Junkung, her husband, was one of those who were taken. So he went to fight this war and was caught in an ambush. Then what happened was that they wrote a letter, sent it to the heartland in the URR, where nobody could read and write English. They sent that letter to her and her family to say that your husband is dead. Now, when the letter got there, nobody could read it. The schoolhouse that was closest was in Bakadaji.
Oh, Bakadaji.
So she had to trek a couple of days distance to get to the schoolhouse for this letter to be read. So you see, all those things she had to go through, like going on that boat across the crocodile infested.
I've seen snakes.
Yes, yes, yes. There's a python, and then that crossed her path, and then that crocodile. There's a crocodile infested river that she braved, and then without food and drink, she was really exhausted. So when she got to the schoolhouse, eventually, before that, she got to the well because she was asking for directions. She left much against her in-laws' wishes because her in-laws were so schooled into colonialism that they could not accept anything but what came from Bathurst. Bathurst was the capital of Gambia at the time. So he said, I'm going to take this letter back to Bathurst so that I can get it translated and read. Then the young man said, no, this is about your son, my husband-to-be. Let me go and find a translation, get someone to translate this. Then they were screaming at her and she ran away, quite headstrong and determined. So she left, went through all these hurdles and difficulties and stayed the night at her uncle's place. This is where she met her cousin, who had a stake in Jonkung's death. So that was why he asked her, what happens if Jonkung dies? So in the film, he will tell him, Jonkung is the man I love, and that is it. We won't go back on this.
I hope you're not going to tell them the ending.
No.
We want them to watch it.
then they left. Then she left and went to the schoolhouse and got this letter read. And, you know, against her biggest fears, eventually it happened.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So now, this is part of the context in which we're dealing with African liberation. And the fact that people have, the story has never been told of women whose sons and husbands went to fight this war. And they were the people who bore the brunt of what happened. Yes. I'll stop there. This is just a teaser.
Yes, it's a
5
teaser.
minutes.
Absolutely.
Mr. Ade, so...
And this is really a very historic film. Perhaps the first in Gambian history. Baba Silla is a well-known novelist. And having some of his works, or part of his works, translated into a movie.
And beautifully filmed.
And beautifully filmed.
Wow.
Yes.
And it is a very rich movie as well, with so many strands that can be fleshed out. It is about women. It is about colonialism, protest. It is as much about independence and the failures of independence and Pan-Africanism. So really, what we plan to do in future is to have an occasion where we will we'll show the film and have a panel of discussions and really talk about it in ways that we can relate to it.
Because that literally was going to be my next question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do we, no, I'm glad you did.
But
You
yes.
preempted it, because I was going to say, how do we take this forward to engage, particularly a younger generation who may not be aware of these things. You know, we see a lot of the movies that we see relating to the First and Second World War, they're Hollywood produced, and they're telling it from their side.
From their perspective.
But from the home perspective, as you said, this may well be a first, certainly in the Gambian context.
Very significant.
You know, we've seen some from Senegal, of course, Camp Cherwai and others. But, you know, from the Gambian one, we've not seen it. And yet that is something that I think needs to be told. Because it matters where we came from to know where we are today. How did we get to where we are?
True. So finally, when are we expecting the full movie?
Well, the movie right now is at Carnarvon Bay Film Festival in Wales. And out of 800 submissions, this film is among the first 5, which they're judging as one of the best foreign language.
It's been shortlisted, yeah.
Shortlisted.
Yeah.
So we are waiting. Hopefully by tomorrow, I'll keep my fingers and toes crossed.
So shall we all. So shall all of us. Yes.
Hopefully we'll get some good news. But it doesn't really matter. For me,
because
the important thing is
to be shortlisted out of that number of films is an achievement in itself.
It is.
You know, so if it goes beyond that and it wins, then you know we will all be celebrating for sure.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming on the program. I mean, that's all we have. You know, we look forward to having you again on this program. Yes,
thank you so much for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it's good to see you.
Yeah, so we'll take the click segment and we'll take a look at the click segment. We'll be back.
Well, by the way,
Munatina, ikante backstab. Fona munekela, nene mituni. Munatina, ikante Batman. Fona munekela, nene mituni. The boy can fight, can kill it. Dol Kataran search can just come felle. Diesel with the boys making news on the talent. Latin ball man kuma hit a soul book a jelly. Nah, Afana fan soul jege. Chronicle now vibe soul clean come reggae. Diesel na man sabin se kano KJ. Ngondata nyila kuta boy what time o TJ. Afobang, flow vijanda boy anene buka bang. Slogan no yes ate nyaman di mobe ko afobang. Afobang, tell a rapper tika waste me a chunk. But I'm steady making moves in the game number tongue. First of all, we got the city unlocked. Look at the castle, he told them man like a jello non-stop. Hey, Saim Villa with the boy on top. First of all, I love hair, talbo, can't Munatina, ikante backstab. Fona munekela, nene mituni. Munatina, ikante Batman. Fona munekela, nene mituni. Tente bolo, najata kekele susu. You can call me Zakazule. Yeah. Say my watching my moves, my success I kill them again. Say my watching my moves, my success I kill them again. Young bad man, young Joe, young Kelly, young grudge. Yeah, fenke man, fenke for you mall say judge. Cool doom, but I'm in today, out my jut. Hit all the mother on every song a jackpot. Now start a check for a second. Intending in man killing from the ghetto like aircon. Struggle on in pain every minute, every second. But one thing with God, prayer is the only weapon. Munatina, ikante backstab. Fona munekela, nene mituni. Munatina, ikante Batman. Fona munekela, nene mituni.
It's J Life.
Forever. Namakele. Nyon town will a talk on them. Rastalo till a gone on them. Namakele. Getting time I'm a lock until we make like jump. Or record could have break like jump. Namakele. You be moving going down ma. You be against more killing. Namakele. Going down ma. For all a limba ma. Every man a king. Some are rude boys, some are gangsters.
Welcome back. You're watching QTV this morning. Now let's head to the last segment of the program. That's the click segment. And I know you've already felt the vibe before we, return in the studios. And I have my brother Churchill Balde. light green.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Pate green and white.
Big up yourself.
And before you hand over, somebody did ask me, we have Ibrahim Asori Balde, we have Churchill Balde, and she said, are they really brothers? Well, kind of.
We are brothers, but different attitude.
But yeah, but not really.
We are brothers, but our attitude are different.
Are different. So who has the better attitude?
Positive attitude vibe.
My brother, it's always a vibe sharing this platform with you. Like I said, I get my inspiration from you people. Yeah, so thank you.
Pleasure always.
For having me and my guests. Yeah, joining me for the second time, I have Chronico. My brother, Afobang. Stylo.
Hey, I check bang. Guys, stylo.
Mashallah. Yeah, so how do you greet your fans?
Yeah, man. Yo, Al-Sama, greetings everybody, and greetings all the viewers out there. You know, yeah, man. Okay, mbal content na back, you know. Mbal salam la, you know. We back on the morning show. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Adiamo Mansia.
Yeah, sure. You are someone that took a break, you know, just to go and learn the art of music. So, I feel like I don't need master.
Alhamdulillah, you know. Yeah, give thanks. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. Yeah. So, how has it been throughout the time that you've been silent, and now you are back again on the game with an album?
Yeah, well, silence it was not easy, you know. True. Yeah, like speculation or but I've been focused and I was able to navigate through whatever was on the way along, you know. So Alhamdulillah, you know. Yeah.
Nice.
So, just if I can jump in quickly, many people were asking, this guy was about to hit, why did he take the break? Exactly. So I wonder if you could just explain. Sorry about that,
No,
but I've always been kind of intrigued.
And that's a very good question.
Yeah, well, it's not like I wanted to personally take a break from it, but due to circumstances, you know. Yeah, because I've been an independent artist from this beginning till now, you know, like so. And music also requires a lot, especially this time, you know, like Kujamal Falente, you know. So it's not easy. Like pushing this thing on your own and trying to be established, you know, and then the financial aspect also, and you know, family side and many other things, you know. So,
okay, thank you.
but Alhamdulillah, you know, we finally here. The album was able to come out, you know. Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry,
nice.
Great.
And how about the pressure from fans that you were silent during that period?
Well, all I can say is like the fans, the people waiting out there, the people listening to me, like they really anticipate the work that I just did, you know. And then I can say like the streams are going daily, people are still vibing to it. Whoever listens to the project goes back to it, and then the feedback is really good from the audience out there. So, yeah.
And the title of the album, Big Booba, what inspired the title? Because Booba is actually your name.
Yeah, that's
so what inspired the name Big Booba? Is it that you finally grown?
Like, okay, you know, it's art, you know, like art comes in different ways.
True.
Okay, you can say I've grown now from the child, you know, and then basically the album also talks about my life, you know, because this music that I'm doing now, like I'm not just doing it for stage performance or for hype or something like. It's the career that I choose, you know. So if you take a look back at the art cover, you can see the connection from an early. Like from the beginning of my life, you can see that I was connected to the music. So yeah, so I had to go back from day one to put up something that is totally different from what's out there. Yeah.
And you've done that.
And how and like when you were in the process of making that album, were you focusing on just giving us good music, or you were focusing on making hits upon hits upon hits?
I was focused on all sides because I've been quiet for a while. So coming back, I know that it's not easy and the competition is really tough out there. So I have to make sure that I come up with something. Even that's not gonna be like that's not gonna take over immediately, but as
with
the
time.
people get time will tell, you know. Yeah, so it is suddenly gonna make its way out there. Yeah, so that is what it takes, you know.
And what is your favorite song from the album?
I cannot just say one favorite, but yeah, I have a couple of favorites because Ndamma Killing actually, that's a big jam for me.
And to me, Ndamma Killing is my vibe.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah.
You see,
I can't stop vibing. I always think that's an unfair question to ask an artist. It's like saying I have 12 children. Which is your favorite child?
You cannot just
like,
say,
dude, you know, right? But hey, you know.
And then energy is there, you know, the intro, like all the tracks are my favorite, but Ndamma Killing is a story that
that stands out.
I am very
let's vibe to Ndamma Killing.
Related to, you know, so
yeah, let's vibe to this.
Yeah, Ndamma Killing.
Big brrr. Booba, 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 booba. Chronica.
It's Jill Life.
A forever. Ndamma Killing. Young town will a talk on them. That's tell till a gun on them. Ndamma Killing. Getting time, I'm a lock until we make like jump. Or record could we break like jump. Ndamma Killing. You be moving, going down, man. You be against more killing. Ndamma Killing. Going down, man. For all of them, man. Every man a king. Some are rude boys, some are gangsters. And I cool like it till I came this far. Cybele and the neighborhood rockstar. Jamal Konyoko get on you superstar. Don't you like, don't you risk a far. Don't you hate when they see me, can you on ledger? Can't deny the love, truly they know that I'm a star. Been quiet for some time, grinding, put the art in master. Kali la moy sign, Alcana when you after. You can have a full wall puss, real hospital ka part for after. Time to hit the streets, ni mule Jamal Tilo Parama. Ngajama baleta minute tribla baya mulu kamasa. Amiro siata, fuaria batale warta. Nini ya minta makulo kono kweka bela sata. Tonya isa kamfa, hanita nyina la foisa yamfa. Mampa fake, wata ninga mintonye Ndamma Killing. Young town will a talk on them. That's tell till a gun on them. Ndamma Killing. Getting time, I'm a lock until we make like jump. Or record could we break like jump. Ndamma Killing. You be moving, going down, man. You be against more killing. Ndamma Killing. Going down, man. For all of them, man. Turn mistakes to lessons. Struggles into blessings. How I did it is the shit they can't imagine. Blessing of the family, you know I have to make it happen. I ain't sharing shit. Let the music do the talking.
No, it is definitely a message. Honestly.
And he said, let the music do the talking.
A message of motivation.
Yeah. And if you look at this, what I was able to depict from this is that you are standing alone and you are being fought by people, maybe people that are even close to you. Like that is what you were trying to say in this song.
Yeah, like like you can look by looking at it like you can see it in different ways, you know. Like I can say it applies in different ways, you know. It depends on the type of situation you probably find yourself in, or the type of people you're involved in, or the kind of environment you are around. Because this type of situations it's happening.
It's happening, yeah.
So, but like literally, you cannot even you cannot just blame anybody for what's going around you, but you have to fight your way out for you to be able to stand out.
True.
And then whatever I can say parted does, if you put in everything, you can do it too. Everybody has their own blessings in their own ways. So I just have to believe in my potential and the talent that I have. And know that with the support from the people out there, the fire is unstoppable.
True. So we have another song that is also on the album.
Yeah.
So let's check that out real quick and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Respect and love we have for ourselves, within ourselves, you know, so it will not be easy for them to break us.
Lord have mercy. I tell you something I need, eh? Some of them are getting it. Tinyaro leke, Galima moide. Lungo minko outside alongo ngo Cuba leke. Cuba, very kama. Luba, Jumala je. Mansula witness la sate le bebente fe. Sate, Jumala ke. Mansula witness la sate le bebente fe. Amanyari tembende fe, ana bajari se kanu keje, ana bajari se kanu keje, Sakano keje, Sakano keje. Ana Madiari Sakano keje, Sakano keje, Kakano keje. Ana Madiari Sakano keje, Sakano keje, Kano keje. Ana Madiari Sakano keje. Me and you not the same vibe. Me and you not the same vibe. Mankal Fulanti. Me and you not the same vibe. Me and you not the same vibe. In your lane. Me and you not the same vibe. Me and you not the same vibe. Okay, what? Me and you not the same vibe. Me and you not the same vibe. Mane mamo ide. Kibaro le nate costello e tignaro le ke. Tignaro le ke. Afoma. Ngale mamo ide. Lungo mingo outside and lungo Cuba le ke. Cuba. Very kama. Luba. Jumala je. Mansula witness la sate le bebe te fe. Sate. Jumala ke. Mansula witness la sate le bebe te fe. Amajari tembe te fe. Ana Madiari Sakano keje. Sakano keje. Sakano keje. Ana Madiari Sakano keje. Sakano keje. Sakano keje. Ana Madiari Sakano keje. Sakano keje. Kakano keje. Ana Madiari Sakano keje. Sakano keje. Kano keje. Ana Madiari Sakano keje.
Nama semua own moves.
Balik Hamudi, Hamudi.
Style.
Piano moves.
Piano.
Style. So this is to tell you how versatile you are. You know, jumping into another lane. Tell us about this experience.
Okay, jumping into this one, you know, this was it was something that I really wanted to do, like for it to be part of the project.
Nice.
Because near cool checkout, you know, it is also a vibe that is really
this is what is trending now.
It is trending around, and the new generation and the audience is not just like old people or same people are listening to you. You know, the audience is, you know, as it grows, you know, it changes. So gradually you have to try to diverse it, you know, so you can have, you know, you can be able to give everyone a little test, you know. So I decided to go. I know I can do it. I know I can go anywhere.
And it's a vibe.
It's really
it's something that you can dance to. You know, this is a club banger.
Even if this gets to South Africa, they love it.
Yeah, they'll love it.
It's kind of in that vibe.
So that's what we're trying to do. You know, like to put the Gambian style, you know, with the the African style, you know, just for the vibe to have it, you know, an identity in it, you know. So
and you call it Stylo.
Stylo.
Now it is you reminding people that this is your own slogan.
Man, this is Stylo 3. This is Stylo 3. Like my first Stylo came in, like that was my first EP.
Yeah.
Stylo Theater. No, before that, Stylo Check.
Stylo Check.
Yeah. And then I have Stylo Theater. Yeah, and then I was quiet for some time. Then coming a Stylo Theater from coming back then after Stylo Theater started. But I know Jolan the play Alan Stylo from around.
The owner of the style.
Stylo Falinta.
Yeah. Stylo Mari Tiola around.
Nice. So how long did it take for you to put the album together?
We are out of time now,
Wow.
Yeah,
okay,
so
now
quickly.
Let's quickly talk about the upcoming event, and then we sign up with that.
Thank you very much. Well, the upcoming event is this Saturday. That is the 25th. This Saturday, 25th. So at the moment here, it's going down in Brikama Box Bar. And I'm telling you, like the fans of Chronicle, and then Brikama is ready. I can say Gambia is ready, you know, because you have music lovers in Gambia who were really anticipating for this. So they really coming out, you know, and then it's not just about me, but I have some special guests also coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, so
from outside the country?
No, just on the other side in the country. You know, so it's gonna be nice.
On the 25th, Brikama Box Bar.
Saturday, one
Chronicle Stylo.
Big Booba the album.
Yes, so
wow, so this is all we have for you on the Click segment. Support my brother. Yeah, Big Booba the album is out. Go stream it on all the social media platforms, all streaming platforms. You know, let's have a vibe. Let's have a taste of good music. And on Saturday, we're out at Brikama Box Bar.
Thank you, QTV. Thank you, Morning Show. Thank you. You know,
it's a vibe, my brother.
For always
respect. Respect Chronicle. Keep moving until we come here again next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.